talk about perspective. So we're going to start simple. We're going to start with 1-point perspective. Basically, 1-point perspective is how we see things when an entire side of that object is facing us, okay? You'll see that one side is facing us, but I can still see a little bit of another side. If it's above me, I can see the bottom. If it's below me, I can see the top, right? But one side is flush facing towards me, okay? When we study perspective, we need to keep in mind two important things. One is horizon line, and the other is vanishing point, okay? So horizon line, I want you guys to think of it as your line of sight, okay? You can imagine a line shooting straight out of your eyeballs coming towards, whatever you're looking at. That is your horizon line, okay? It's your line of sight. It's the height or the level at which you see things, right? So if I stand up, my horizon line has lifted, right? If I'm lower, my horizon line is lower. So it's always just like a line shooting out from my eyes, okay? Now, if an object is above my horizon line, like I said earlier, I can see the bottom of it, right? Like an airplane or something flying above me. If something is below my horizon line, so below my eyesight, my eye level, I can see the top of it, right? Does that make sense? I think so. Okay. So when we start to draw in perspective, the first thing we're going to do is draw in our horizon line. So let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, so drawing in my horizon line, I've got my sketchbook, my ruler. I'm going to put the ruler right down the middle, and I'm going to draw a nice line all the way across. That's my horizon line.
Okay, so now let's talk about the second important thing when we talk about perspective, which is the vanishing point. Now, what the heck is a vanishing point? Well, have you ever stood on railroad tracks or looked at a picture of railroad tracks? Now, you know that those tracks are the same distance apart no matter where they are along the track, right? But if you look down the railroad tracks way in the distance, it still looks like those little lines, those tracks come together at a point, right? Have you seen that illusion? Probably have. That point at which they come together, we call that the vanishing point because it looks like everything is vanishing towards that. Now, if we're doing a 1-point perspective, how many vanishing points do you think we have? 1 point, vanishing point. Okay, we have 1 vanishing point and 1-point perspective, okay? So let's add that to our drawing. Use my computer.
Now 1 vanishing point, right? We're going to put that right smack in the middle. And I'm going to label it VP just for now. Okay?
What we're going to draw is a series of squares, rectangles, things like that in 1-point perspective. Now, remember, 1-point perspective, an entire side is facing us, okay? Now, what part of it do you think is vanishing? If I hold this like this, you see the side over here. Oh, sorry, the camera's side, like backwards. Okay, so this side right here creates, as it goes backwards, creates the illusion of vanishing, all right? So this is the side that's going to vanish towards the point. The front is always flat and square or rectangular. So starting with a rectangle or a square, that's the first thing we're going to draw. Now I'm going to draw a box that is below my my line of sight or my horizon line, okay?
Okay, so starting my first square right here, I'm going to draw it below my horizon line, so below my line of sight. I'm going to use a template just to make it a little bit easier for the demonstration, but I'm pretty sure you guys are fully capable of drawing a square. It doesn't have to be perfect, obviously, but there we go. Okay, now we have to connect it to the vanishing point. We're only going to do that through 3 sides because our square is not see-through. If it was, maybe we would connect this point here too, but we don't have to do that. We're just going to connect from here, here, and here. So, doing that, this will create that effect disappearing off into the distance. Now we're also taking a square and turning it into its 3D version, which is what's a cube. Okay, so here we have the start. Now this is just the front of the square and sides that go and top that go on forever, right? So we need to go ahead and finish this off. Now the way I do that is by lining up my ruler with the edge I've already created and bringing it back to whatever distance I want to make that side. Now I can make more of a rectangle shape by drawing my side right all the way back here, or I can try to keep it more of a square. It's really up to you. The most important thing is that you keep this line straight and parallel to this edge right here. What happens when make it sideways? Well, you end up with a really odd shape. It's not quite a cube, okay? So I put my side on. I can take away that other one. So I've got the front and I have the side. What am I missing still if it's actually below my eye level? I am missing the top. So the top needs to line up with the sides, so I will take my ruler and line it up to this line here. Make sure it's parallel. I will bring it back until I reach this little corner right there. And then I'll go straight across from there to there. Boom, I've made a cube in 1 point perspective, okay? Great. I'm gonna do another one now, up above my line of sight, just because I wanna show you guys how to do that. So here's my square, for sake of ease, with one of these. Okay, so I've drawn the front of the square, the thing that faces me, right? Now I need to do connecting to the vanishing point, right? So I'm going to connect this, this, and this to that vanishing point, right? So let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2, and 3. Now, this sucker's above my eye line, right? My line of sight or my horizon line. So what do I see? I'll see the front of it, I'll see the side of it, and instead of the top like over here, I'm gonna see the bottom. But let's first put on the side. So how big should we make this? You know what, I'm gonna get crazy here and I'm gonna make it more of a rectangle. I'm gonna line up my my ruler with that edge of the square and pull it back so it stays nice and straight. Let's go all the way to here. All right, now putting on the bottom from here to somewhere over here, but it needs to be parallel with this edge, right? So we're gonna line up the ruler and pull it back straight until we find that little corner right there. And there we go, boom. We have 2 boxes in 1 point perspective. So you have 2 done. You're supposed to do 5, so I want you guys to do another 3. Put them wherever, I don't care if they overlap. See what happens when you put one directly on the horizon line. How many points do you think that you need to connect? All 3? Maybe not. Okay, good luck.